1 Corinthians 3:6 gives a really good illustration, a very basic illustration, but a very good illustration of the difference between a formal equivalent translation like the ESV, a dynamic translation like the NIV, and a natural language translation like the NLT. Paul has been discussing divisions in the Corinthian church, and he's emphasizing that neither he nor Apollos are anything. They are merely co-workers. It's truly Christ's church, and that's what matters. And in that context, he says, I planted, Apollos watered, but God caused growth. And you look at the ESV, and that's exactly what they say. I planted, Apollos watered, and God gave the growth, which is a perfectly legitimate translation, and it conveys meaning. But for a dynamic translation like the NIV, they would look at a sentence like, I planted, go, well, I planted what? That's not really proper English. And so they are going to supply the direct object from context. Again, a very legitimate thing to do. So it says, I planted the seed. Apollos watered it, but God has been making it grow. So we supply direct objects all over the place where Greek leaves them out, but you can see the difference there. You go over to the NLT, which is a great natural language translation, and it says, I planted the seed in your hearts, and Apollos watered it, but it was God who made it grow. So just a real simple but a very good illustration of the difference between these three different kinds of translations. In this day and age of celebrity pastors and so many people focusing attention on people and not on God, so many people focusing attention on human programs and not the gospel, this is really an important verse, especially when you get down to 1 Corinthians 3:7. So neither the one who plants, that's Paul, nor the one who waters, Apollos, is anything, but only God, because it's God who makes things grow. I always balk at referring to churches by the names of their pastors. And so we'll often talk about so-and-so's church or so-and-so's church. Maybe we should follow the injunction of 1 Corinthians 3:7 and understand that if it's a true biblical church, it's God's church, and change our nomenclature. I know there are many well-known pastors who would very much like us to do that.